war update. If you want to support this channel, please make sure to leave a like and comment. It helps this channel immensely. Before we start, a short note: this version has been cut. On my private Telegram you can find a 20-minute version of this update with lots of footage I cannot show or talk about here. The link is in the description. While the world shifted its eyes over to recent events in Israel, Russia used the circumstances to launch a massive offensive in the Donetsk region. Company and battalion-sized elements attacked on several parts of the front with a strong focus on the town of Avdеевке. Russian combat helicopters were dispatched to engage Ukrainian targets, and massive mechanized assaults tried to roll over the Ukrainian defenders. A lot of footage was released, but first let's take a short look of Avdеевке on the map. The town is located in the east of Ukraine, just north of the city of Donetsk. Avdеевке is surrounded by a set of natural barriers to the east and northeast, what makes it hard for Russian forces to advance head-on from the east. Due to this circumstance, the Russians attempted a so-called pincer movement with the aim of surrounding the Ukrainian troops inside Avdеевке. Heavy clashes took place in the north in the area of Krasnohorivka and Novoslivka-Druha, and in the region around Pisky and Vodian in the south. This drone video released by the Ukrainian 2nd Mechanized Battalion of the Presidential Brigade shows one of the many Russian attempts to assault the town. We can see a company-sized element of Russian armored vehicles advancing in a column formation before coming under heavy Ukrainian fire. Several explosions are visible as dust and smoke rises to the sky, indicating a large portion of Russian vehicle losses. According to Ukrainian sources, Russia conducted over 15 of such separate attacks over the course of the last weeks. This comes a little bit as a surprise for Western observers, since Russia spent practically all summer on the defensive. The recent offensive attempts indicate that the Russian army is now again actively trying to regain the initiative that has long been on the side of the armed forces of Ukraine. The Russians kept sending formation after formation into the battle, leading to a high loss ratio. However, judging by the huge amount of footage that came out from the area so far, it looks like the Ukrainians were holding their ground quite effective, and so far the Russian offensive failed to reach its objective. So far it has been reported that the Russians only managed to advance by a few hundred meters. Some experts still warn that if the Russian armed forces managed to advance by just a couple of miles, it could spell an imminent danger of encirclement for the Ukrainian elements inside Avdеевке. So far, encirclements have been Russia's primary way to fight its wars, not only since Ukraine or Syria. They always try to contain, isolate and encircle their enemy by outnumbering and throwing mass at them. Most of the time this is shown through massive artillery fire, followed by massive assaults that ignore own loss rates and see the greater goal. These attacks depict this once more pretty well, I think. The Ukrainians not only countered the massive mechanized assault with drones, but also anti-tank guided missiles, mines, artillery and cluster munitions. Furthermore, they moved new reserves into the area, what was halting the offensive as a result. The recapture of the small bits of lost positions in the north and east by the Ukrainian forces was not possible, however. Because of this fact, Avdеевке still faces the danger of encirclement. While Ukraine released a lot of footage from this battle, Russia has only released a few videos so far. One of them is this tank GoPro footage that shows one of the many mechanized assaults we saw from all the Ukrainian drones. BTR-90 vehicles were also used. An interesting fact, since we have not seen so much of them since the beginning of the war. Also interesting that the Ukrainian footage showed scores of destroyed and disabled military vehicles, while this video depicted none of them. This Ukrainian drone video, most likely filmed in the same area, shows a massive Russian column coming under artillery fire. While most of the videos showed platoon to company-sized elements, here it can be that several companies or even elements of up to battalion level were thrown into the battle. The Ukrainian height advantage, thanks to the natural barrier in the east I mentioned before, is very well visible in this clip. The video was filmed from a Russian anti-tank guided missile position engaging a Ukrainian position. Despite all the hostilities, Russian and Ukrainian soldiers also met in the east of the town to exchange a group of prisoners for the body of a fallen soldier. Refreshing to see that they can still meet without shooting at each other, at least to some degree and under sad circumstances. White flags were risen in order to prevent any misunderstandings that could have led to bad consequences. If you watched till now, I wanted to say thank you. If you want to support this channel and want to help me creating better videos with even more educational value, please give this video a like and leave a comment. What do you think about the current Russian offensive? If you want to see videos I cannot show here and want to hear things I cannot say here, you should consider to join my private Telegram. Your contribution will be used to increase the quality of reporting and video editing. The link is in the description. The longer uncut version of this update is also already up there, since I will release the updates there first in the future. With growing member numbers there, I can also support soldiers and people affected by war more efficient and discreet without making a social media spectacle out of it every time. Also, hiring staff such as further analysts, veterans, video editors and map designers is a long-term goal of this channel now. This is not possible with YouTube alone. Knowing that I have a loyal